show is proudly brought to you by Audio Pub. Nigel, good morning.
Welcome to South Melbourne. It's mid to late summer here in Melbourne, and beautiful day outside, and a beautiful day for guitars.
It is a lovely day for guitars. Hello, if you're joining us. The weather has been crazy, and it's very nice to walk in.
Yeah, well, Melbourne's had one too many cigarettes this morning because there's a little bit of a haze around.
Yes, smoke haze.
Some debate if that's a fog or a smog or what it is, but
it doesn't smell like smoke. I couldn't smell it.
I think it's a good day to be inside.
How was your Pause Fest?
Geez, I had a week. It was a big old week.
Tell me all about it.
Yep. So, live gig.
Yes.
High stakes.
That is high stakes.
And
I would never do it.
You know precisely what it's like to be on stage. So
that's why I don't do it anymore.
bandgarage.com collaborator and I, Tammy, and successful musician. So to be fair, she had way more at stake here than I did.
Yes.
Because I'm an unsuccessful musician, and we decided to reveal what are the 5 things that bands can teach work teams. And this is rules about bands. Always, you're there to make the others look good.
Yes.
Have an agreed and clear sense of purpose.
Yes.
That blows a lot of bands up. Role clarity, it's a word we use in business, but who owns this song? Who's in charge here? And you're the guitarist, you're not the vocalist.
I don't remember any clarity from when I was in a band.
Yeah.
It's all a bit hazy.
There's a difference between having clarity back then and having clarity of memory.
It was a different time.
Yeah, indeed. It would have been the hair, indeed. So we, spoke for 20 minutes, TED Talk style, and then we just took the massive bravery thing of saying, okay, let's instantly put a band together from the audience.
Yes.
And one of the 5 rules is there are patterns, follow them.
Right.
And so we just said, okay, if you can know where the A, D, and E is on a guitar or a bass, come on up, be on our team. If you can count to 4, come up and drum. Assuming, Colonel, that in an audience like Pause Fest, which is a very kind of industrial design, marketing, music, digital community, there'd be one of each in the audience.
They have to be.
Yeah, no.
What did you end up with?
Someone who'd never drummed before.
Okay.
A lovely bloke who came on board and afterwards went, I think I was doing the 10-bar blues, which I can confirm because Tammy had actually beaten into me making sure it was 12 because she's a pro. And so I know I was on 12 and my mate next to me was doing 10, which made, a bit of variation in the blues. He was changing early.
Yes.
Whatever. And this lady who drummed, stepping on a stage, that's a big thing in front of the 150 people, whatever it was there.
Scary.
And then having first time playing the drums. Amazing. And she'd also volunteered her mobile phone, because the other trick we pull is I take your mobile phone and Tammy basically sort of semi-scats a blues riff, a blues song off your last text message with your significant other.
Wow, okay. And mine would be X-rated.
Yeah, be like, be sure to get to the market.
Pick up your snacks.
Woke up this morning, went down to the South Melbourne market. Yeah, and she's so clever. She pulled that off, and a tremendous vocal, but I was dying out the back trying to kind of. And it's classic. Those perhaps didn't meet expectations on the band side in that sense, but that's the risk of life.
That is.
That was improv. That's what we were aiming to do. So that dominated my week, and I did reflect that. The ROI of being in a band is tough.
Well, I am impressed that you did that because that performance scares the hell out of me. Have I told you my most recent live performance?
No. I'm intrigued by this because it's clearly not related to competence. Perhaps the less competent you are at live performance, the more frightening it is. The other way around, the inverse, that the less competence, you don't know how bad you are.
Well, you're a seasoned presenter, so it's probably less nerve-wracking for you. But I went to, at the end of last year, we went over to Abbotsford Convent area, and there was a special kids' day.
Yep.
So, of course, I'm a typical guy. I have no idea where we're going. So we turn up there, in we go, and it's the one day you pay money to get in there.
Right.
And so Lily says, okay, take Phoebe down to the kids' karaoke. Okay, so we go down to kids' karaoke.
She'd be good at that.
And we're sitting around, and Phoebe's like, "Now, Dad, can you come up and sing a song with me?" I'm like, I don't really.
You can.
Okay, I guess. And Lily's like, "Get up there and sing a song." Why don't we just wait? No, get up. Well, look, and anyway, this lady gets up
Yep.
in front, and she because no one was getting up, and she grabs the mic from the two presenter girls and says, "Look, I'm an actress. I'll do some baby shark song with her kids." Who is it? It's Diana Glenn, who is a very well-known actress. She's married to, or used to be married to, Vince Cosmo, if you saw her face. So she's a pro.
Yeah.
So she's up there doing all the moves, and I'm like, oh man,
you got to follow this.
I got to follow this. This is ridiculous.
Who you follow on a stage is rule number one.
Yeah.
Because we had to follow some dude who made all of the computer graphics for The Martian.
Oh, wow.
Imagine his show. Really.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Okay.
But no, what happened next, Colonel? I'm dying.
Well, and so I thought, oh, man, this is going to be tough. So I go up, and another lady sort of jumps the line, and she jumps up with her daughter. And I thought, okay, hang on, wait. We'll just wait one more.
Stress levels.
King.
Yeah.
And she decides to sing "Let It Go" from Frozen.
Oh, huge favourite.
Huge favourite.
We should do that sometime.
And as you know, my Spotify list is...
Let It Go.
It's Let It Go.
Let It Go live. Let It Go reprised.
The both versions, the Indina Menzel version and also the
Wow.
pop singers. So she gets up, and I thought, please be terrible, and she sings a note perfect "Let It Go." In fact, everyone in the audience is,
She's the man.
oh my God. So I have to follow her. I'm like, I don't want to do it. Okay, I'll do it. So we get up and we do Moana. Don't know if you know.
Sure.
Moana,
Moana.
great movie. We do
Not
Moana.
Not Moana, Moana.
Moana, yeah.
Get your Māori
Moana.
a bit more sorted there, my friend.
I know. Is that really how you pronounce it?
Moana.
Moana. Okay.
Yeah, all the A's are R.
Very cool.
Long.
So we do Moana, and I get through it. I'm like, oh my God, thank God. So I get off the stage, and then we're getting some lunch, and Lily was filming the whole thing. And I said, can I have a look at it? And she's like,
I was going to say, if there's no video, it didn't happen. But now
we do have a video. I will post it. But apparently, I asked to watch the video, and she said, it's always about you, isn't it? Anyway, onwards and upwards.
Okay.
We have some people on. Alan Leslie has joined. He's
He
straight.
has.
He hasn't come home yet.
That's good.
Les Paul Gibson. Good morning, guys.
Oh, it's all
your
up.
show today, Leicester.
Yeah,
because we've got a few.
We got a few on today.
Michael Webb is on.
Yeah.
Good morning. You know, Michael Webb used to be in a band with Rod Stewart.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, sir.
That's of this era we're going to talk about today.
We've got the other Michael on, Michael Ray. Good morning, gentlemen. Sorrow, yes, we will be doing Sorrow. And Andrew McDonald, Moztronics, is on.
He is. He's a good man. Gee, he's been busy lately refurbing a massive recording desk.
Is that right?
Because I think he must be the most patient man in the world.
I haven't had a chance to look at much social media lately, so I'm sorry, Moztronics. I haven't caught up with it.
I learned a couple of interesting electronics facts this week, because that's the sort of people who are at Pause Fest. And
I'll tune this.
so I learned that the Black Magic gear that we use here in the studio, and if we could get sponsorship, that'd be great. We could do with an upgrade.
Shout out to Black Magic.
Where do you reckon that business began?
I have no idea.
It has to be American, right?
It has to be American.
Because it's massive, it's global, they make the most remarkable...
It's the best stuff.
The full chain of desks, components, converters, cameras.
Yes.
No, Port Melbourne.
What? That's incredible.
A bloke called Grant Petty started it in 2001, and he came along and spoke at Pause Fest, which was just brilliant. An Australian story of an electronics musical... The dude's a genius. I mean,
we should get him on the show. We should get him in for a chat.
Yeah, DaVinci Resolve, all that software.
Yeah.
They wrote the lot.
That is, I love my Black Magic capture card, and I will tell you, this is a true story. I got another capture card.
Yep.
I won't say the brand.
I warned you against it, didn't I?
Yes, and it bit the dust almost straight away, and so I sent it back to where I bought it, and the guy said, look, try the Black Magic, and I'd read really good things, and boom.
So made locally, that
beauty.
was really exciting to hear about. I learned two other fascinating facts. What's the largest live gig of all time, Colonel? And you
Live
and remember,
Aid.
I've been at a weirdo digital online festival, so I might say live in a loose sense. Where did that occur? Isle of Wight, maybe.
The biggest live gig.
Yeah, was it Altamont? Was it?
This is like we're not talking live streamed here.
Well,
Or are we?
Was it Live Aid?
Well, I would say Live Aid,
Well,
1980.
so no, the biggest live gig of all time happened last year within the game of Fortnite. So a DJ called Marshmallow rigged up his gear to live stream into a digital version of himself, which is what Fortnite's all about. You have an avatar and you go in.
Right.
So what he's playing here is streaming directly to his avatar, and millions of people turn up. You couldn't avoid it, because when you came to the island to start your quest in Fortnite,
Yes.
that's what you saw.
Wow. Okay.
And so there are millions of people, and then all the avatars are dancing in Fortnite as well.
So hang on. Explain what Fortnite is.
So Fortnite is the world's most popular game in history.
Okay. I'm not a gamer, so I don't know
Yeah.
this.
So you can go on quests. You can go on kill things. You know, it's like a thing called Battle Royale, where there's 100 of you, and you're dropped on the island, and it's last person standing.
Yeah.
And then now there's actually a rescue version, which the Red Cross have sponsored, I think.
Wow.
That's something like that, where you go and you get points for helping people.
That's amazing.
But it's massive. It's the biggest game of all time. Every teenager in the world's been playing it. So they ran a live gig on it, and that was the largest live gig of all time.
You know, sometimes, Nigel, I think of myself, because of what I do in my life, which is, well, not a lot, but I do a lot of kid type stuff. I play with guitars, and I drink beers with Alan, and I've never grown up. And then I hear about the Fortnite game, and I have absolutely no idea about it. So
I'm glad about that.
Showing
So
my
I
age.
think you would be a horrible addict for that. And my final fascinating fact from Pausevest is that Ronaldo made more money from Instagram than football last year.
What? Really?
That's your goal.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
That is your goal now, Colonel, is to make more money from social media than selling guitars.
He has something going for him, and that is he is extremely good looking, totally good looking.
Yeah.
So Nigel, what is the background we have today?
Well, I'm
Should I
excited
You go.
because it's the next in the series. It's back to you. It's flip-flopped back to you for great rock albums.
Like speaking of games, Pong is probably the last one I played.
Right.
So it ponged back to me.
It has.
I'm a huge Bowie fan, so there's going to be lots of Bowie.
Yeah.
Pinups.
And in 1973, so I've got a period perfect guitar
You
to
do,
play
sir.
it. And
You do.
So it's Mick Ronson is the guitarist. Tell me about his guitar choices.
Okay, so what happened with this particular record is a couple of weeks before he did his last Ziggy Stardust show, and announced it. The band had no idea. Ziggy Stardust last show, I'm calling it quits, that's it. The band are like,
huge.
what? Oh my God. So he takes off to France, I think.
Yes, France. Yep.
And he needs a musician. So he takes Mick Ronson.
Sure. Brilliant guitarist. Producer, the whole 9 yards.
And he takes Trevor Boulder on bass, I think, and gets a different drummer. So there's all sorts of tension. But back to Mick Ronson's guitar. So he had a 70s, maybe late 60s, early 70s custom.
What am I playing?
You're playing
1969
custom.
Les Paul custom.
And he took the top and sanded it back to exactly what Sir Nigel has in his hands today. So we've gone legit, totally legit.
This is a little bit messed up, this one, but that to me doesn't devalue it that badly, because it still plays exactly like a 69.
It's unbelievable. It sounds killer.
But yeah, so that's a thrill. And so 73.
Yes.
This is like in researching Bowie. What a busy guy.
Crazy busy. I think he had some help to keep himself super busy.
He
like
did,
that.
particularly at this
Panda.
time of year.
No Panda, away.
This album was huge in my world as well, because my brother owned it. It was like one of 6 albums we owned, so it got very high rotation in my house, maybe 3.
Is it?
So I could literally just about sing you all the songs in series, not as well as you, Colonel, but because they are embedded in my musical DNA. So I love this album. Super excited. I would have selected it as well. Released twice is the interesting phenomenon.
Oh, right. What was this?
First time in 1973, after he'd recorded it.
Yeah.
And the second time in 1983.
Wow. I did not know that.
And as our wise audience pointed out, it did have a number one hit.
Sorrow. Should we have a playthrough Sorrow? I think?
Okay, tell me a bit about Sorrow, because I know a bit of its history, but I don't know how to play it. So this album, Pinups, is Bowie's sort of salute to 1960s rock and bluesy kind of stuff. And you have to remember that Bowie started life as a blues musician. That was his thing. He went quickly from skiffle to blues. He had a band called King Bees.
Yeah.
He had a band called Mannish Boy. Both songs we've done here.
Yes.
And then he just keeps transforming and transforming until his first song. So now our trivia question for everyone there is, what was David Bowie's first hit? First recorded hit. And I had it on 45. Because it was re-released again later on when I was at school in the 70s. So,
I think I know what that is, but...
Yeah, it's a bit of a... And so lots of great songs on here, including the Easy Beats, Friday on My Mind.
Well, to be honest, it was quite hard picking some songs to do, because some of them are a little bit complicated, not that complicated, but they also did the classic thing of the 70s, and they went into the studio and took whatever they were taking, and then they said, I think this is an E, man. So everyone tuned to me, man. And of course, it's slightly out of tune. But there's a couple of ones where the producer has obviously gone, guys, can we tune to correctly, please? So, And Sorrow was one of those.
You can't imagine my surprise when I eventually moved to Australia and discovered that the Easy Beats had written Friday on Your Mind. It's like,
there you go.
I know,
cool.
That's a Bowie song. So, look, it got to number 37 in 1983. So even on the second time around, it's a pretty good thing. It was a number one album in the UK in 1973.
That's cool.
And Sorrow was the number one hit, based on a 1960s American band's song called Sorrow.
Which band? Was
the
that the Walk?
The McCoys.
The McCoys. Wow.
And the McCoys, if you don't know them, are known for a very cheesy song, Hang On Sloopy.
Hang on, Sloopy, Sloopy, hang on. That's cool.
And they were Johnny Winter's backing band.
Is that right?
And right through the 70s.
Did not know that.
So they were quality musicians,
Nigel,
wrote a quality song, and Bowie loved it. And it's playable, so...
It's playable. Let's have a look at it, folks. It's one of the easiest songs.
We're on Mick Ronson, Les Pauls.
If you're ever...
how does it go?
Let's have a look. I'll just see what... I may have extreme sound power going.
I don't know what I've got. I don't think there is. As we were discussing before, these guitars are actually
back a bit.
So loud acoustically for their wood qualities, their resonance. You don't need to turn on.
No. It just rings out. Oh, that's nice. That's a G.
Yep.
With your long blonde hair and your eyes are blue, the only thing I ever got from you was a C chord. Back to G. And then put a D in. C, G. And the only other change is down to F. With a long, long
Oh wow, I love this song already.
That's it. It's cool.
It's a 4-quarter.
Ooh, my good. Wow, we've got very loud. Okay, loud audio. I like that. Ladies and gentlemen.
And now you've chosen a particular version, because there's so many versions of this.
There is. We're going to do the Pinups released version.
Okay, cool.
But I mean,
remastered, no doubt.
Yes, remastered. He 100% has done it a few times live, and there's lots of different things. So here we go, folks.
Right.
This is a remastered version from 2015.
Oh wow! So.
sing along. Get out there playing your high-class games of sorrow. Sorrow. You got
Tricky.
something tells me your devil's gone down. Sorrow.
Oh my goodness.
I'm willing to say, Colonel, that if somebody had shown me how to play that as an
Yes.
11-year-old,
Yes.
I would never have given up the guitar.
No. That's a good point.
And
It's a very good point.
that was the sad thing about my early, childhood guitar playing was
Yes.
they made me play Greensleeves and I wanted to play Sorrow. And
I had
it's horrifying for me to discover that it's 3 open chords.
Yeah.
It's like, I knew those chords.
That's a ripper.
Music
That,
teachers of the
folks,
world,
is a
you have a
ripper.
lot to answer for.
Well, I have a very similar experience. When I was 13, about 10 years ago or so,
Yep.
my mother, I had a terrible acoustic, one of the classical things. It was
nylon
dreadful.
strings, plinkety plonk.
And she's like, I'll take you to guitar lessons. So she took me to a dusty old gent who played classical guitar like this, and I had the foot pedal. And so I did a couple of lessons, and I said, oh man, I don't like this at all. And credit to my mother,
Yep.
she went and found a cool rock teacher in
good on you.
Ashgrove.
Yep.
I still remember going. And I loved him, and I kept going with it. So there you go.
Yeah, no, my son the same. Just credit to his mother for finding the right teachers over time. And now look at the little monkey.
I saw Albert Park College is looking for a bass teacher at the moment.
Right.
I saw that in the.
He could probably do it, to be
music.
honest. He's
Yeah.
pretty good now.
Absolutely.
Right,
He's
so
really good.
So, I mean, the other distinguishing feature of Pinups as an
Yes.
album is how short it is.
Yeah, right.
33 minutes.
Okay. I did not know that.
So wouldn't pass was it the John Lennon test of
No.
Panda, if you step
no.
on my
Panda,
paddleboard.
there's far too many.
Come on, up here. Bubba, come on.
I'll come over here. Come on, quick.
Come on.
Up here, quick.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 2 pedals. The Colonel's guitar settings have now changed completely
Okay. Sit.
because
Hang on.
producer,
We better check that.
Yeah.
You ready? Okay, we're good.
she's improved it.
See, it sounds pretty good.
She's rocking.
Panda, do that to both.
So you got a Les Paul as well?
I've got a Les Paul. I've got a 95. Les Paul standard in cherry. That's it. There's no mods. Straight down the barrel.
Yeah. I do think those are my... I do like those speed wheel thingos.
Yeah,
the
speed
adjusters.
knobs are good.
They look super modern.
Well, you can, they're very easy to adjust mid-playing versus the witches' hats, which...
I'm not convinced these are the original witches' hats either.
No, they're not.
To be honest.
No. He had them put on. So that guitar's had a lot of modifications, hence the price point.
But the core mechanics of it never had a break.
No.
Which is very rare in this vintage. And the pickups sound like... And so pickups, neck, body... Well, body's been sanded on the back, but that's life.
Yes.
Tuners are the same, and only $5,500. It's a bargain.
Yes, it is a bargain. So Nigel,
we did ask a question, and I've forgotten what it was, Colonel. But maybe.
Well, I'll chuck in.
Yep.
A question about the album cover.
Yes.
Who is the lady?
Who's the lady?
That could be a tough one to answer in that picture. But who is the lady?
I'll give them a clue.
And I don't mean it's the one on the right or the left.
I'll give them the clue.
Okay. Let's do it.
The clue is that this was shot for a French magazine cover, and it was a fashion magazine. And Bowie loved it so much, he hijacked it from the cover of the mag for the cover of his album. He had that.
Wow.
He had that kind of
double points if you can
authority.
come up with the magazine.
Yeah, that'll take a bit of googling. But Bowie's I think one of the hardest working, longest lasting artists of all time. Extremely inspiring.
Yes.
Never gave up. Obviously, was known to be talented at school.
Yes.
His music and arts teacher spotted it at high school.
Yes.
And his music and arts teacher also had a very famous musical son.
Oh, I think I know this one. Can I answer it?
Have a go. Who was the son of David Bowie's music teacher?
I'm going to say Peter Frampton.
Yes.
Wow, I got it.
What a small world. Incredible. And
you
so
keep chatting, Nigel. I'm just going to make an emergency adjustment.
And if you trace Bowie's kind of skiffle, blues, acoustic, the first song he wrote was The Laughing Gnome. I'm the Laughing Gnome. And he's roasting roasted toadstools and a glass of dandelion wine.
That is
it's hilarious. A novelty song, which he re-released, which is when I would have heard it in the 80s, I think. And but yeah, sort of, and I think that's where some of those sensibilities of the G and the C and the D and the country chords and those kind of things starts to cut in as origin. I mean, man, he did anything in the arts. You talk about being up against professionals on the screen, on the stage at a kids' karaoke.
Yes. He
would do anything, which was part of the story of the hard-working David Bowie in the 60s before he, got to this point of Ziggy Stardust.
He sounded like Anthony Newley a little bit.
Wow, who's Anthony Newley?
Anthony Newley, if you go see Dr. Dolittle, which has just been released in the last month or so, there was an original version of Dr. Dolittle.
I remember it
with Rex Harrison.
Absolutely.
And the other male lead in Dr. Dolittle was Anthony Newley, who was a British singer, actor, blah, blah, blah. So Bowie sort of modeled, if you listen to early Bowie stuff, especially sort of 67 era, sounds a lot like Anthony Newley. He was trying to sort of head down that path.
Bowie acknowledged the Who, the Rolling Stones, as to being what he wanted to get to in his career. And of course, we look back on that era through the current lens and our current knowledge of him, but he was just a hard-working rock and roll kid trying to make his way by getting... So my favourite story about him trying to make money in the music industry was as a support act for a band called T-Rex.
Oh, right.
Because his mate Mark Bolan, he mimed. So he was a...
Oh, yes, that's true.
He was a
I thought you meant he was miming to a...
No, he had some famous miming moments, but this was a mime moment.
That's right.
At a show.
Yeah, he studied mime.
He would do anything.
That's cool.
And so that was the story of the 60s. And like Ziggy Stardust... So I love the continuity between our episodes here, because Ziggy Stardust... Where did the name Ziggy come from?
Oh, Iggy?
Yes.
Ah.
So he'd been to America and
rock quiz,
and like Ziggy Stardust is this pastiche of Lou Reed.
Yes.
And Iggy Pop
Yes.
and his fascination with space.
Oh,
And
very nice.
that fascination with space is what made him, because
He was a spaceman.
he was the spaceman just before
Bowie's in space.
1969, before the moon launch. He's got Major Tom.
I'll give you another 60s band that
Yep.
he loved, the Velvet Underground.
Yes, but that was
And don't you move again, Panda.
super. Like, he loved it, and his time in America, it's just, he loved it dearly.
Yeah. Well, he was going to apparently have a Pinups 2 album. This is what I read.
Yep.
And on the Pinups 2 album, it would be all American covers versus
Right.
British covers.
So the British covers were for the American market, because he travelled there as Ziggy.
Yes.
So that makes sense. He would do an American covers for a
Yes.
British market.
Yes.
And well,
Vice versa.
Absolutely.
And he actually did record some tunes. And one of the tunes, which I've decided to have a crack at today, is White Light, White Heat by the Velvet Underground. Panda,
oh dear.
are we still on?
Are we still on, Panda? You were responsible for that.
I am blaming Senior Sales Executive Panda for all of the faults.
Yeah.
Although apart from the power outage, we've got a pretty clear thing
we're doing
going
all
on
right.
today. It's going
So
good.
hold on, get me to get this right. So there's songs left in the studio
Yes.
during the Pinups recording in France, which is maybe why it's only 33 minutes long, which is barely an EP in modern sense.
Yeah. Yes. I think everything was recorded in that studio, and they just picked what they wanted. But I think the idea was,
Right.
we'll do enough, and then we'll re-release it as Pinups 2 and blah blah blah. But
Right.
because apparently the word is he recorded quite a few American covers.
Yeah.
But only one has really seen the light of day, which is White Light, White Heat. You know what else I discovered on YouTube last night? I was reading through some notes about Pinups and whatever.
Thank
And
goodness for YouTube.
I love YouTube and Wikipedia. It's the story of that's all I do now. And and the last Ziggy gig, right before they went to record Pinups, guess which guitar player? Here's another quiz question.
Oh, okay.
This is a big one. Guess
Yep,
which
'cause
famous guitar player?
Because it's hard, because he knew everyone.
He knew everyone.
That's what you've got to remember. He
famous,
knew
super
everyone.
famous.
Everybody wanted to be his friend.
He's more famous than I am.
Yep.
Just. Famous guitar player came up on stage and did 2 numbers with them, but the famous guitar player did not want his numbers on the Ziggy Stardust motion picture. If you remember, that came out in the early 80s.
Yeah.
And so he was pulled from that. But
Wow.
now there's some bootleg video and recording.
I
of it.
couldn't. Well, I mean, he knew Eric Clapton. He knew. I bet you. Wow, I don't know.
See if you can guess it now. Mark
Pete
Donovan is
Townsend.
on.
Pete Townsend's going to be my guess.
Pete Townsend, yes.
You Pete?
It's possible. He's done some stuff with Pete. Mark Donovan from Byron Bay is on. He has guessed Twiggy. You are correct.
Oh, right.
Bill Hattestavros, I recall it might be Twiggy. You are right. Gone to God, Colonel. Yes.
Yeah.
But because I'm a god myself, we're back. Shane Weiss, Twiggy, and the cover of Vogue. Well done,
Wow,
sir. That's a
fantastic.
good one.
Yep.
Shane Weiss, Vogue, Mark Donovan. That's my fave Bowie album. Great choice.
Me too.
Yes. Yeah, it's cool. Should we do White Light, White Heat?
Well, that'd be cool. I'm going to change guitars though.
Okay, you change guitars. I'm going to cue up the song.
So, gone from, as much as this is a beautiful, beautiful thing, and everyone should have a play of that, I wanted something kind of a little more interesting to play. And this has been in the shop a few weeks, and I'm hoping I've got a connection there. I'm just going to have to reverse the cable on this one, Colonel. One moment, please, caller.
Yes.
We're both distracted by technology for the moment. Where's our
Yes.
roadie? That's what I want to know.
We need Panda. Come back here. Come back here.
Here we go.
goddamn
Now
Panda.
Unplugged.
All right, folks. I'll try and do it.
What
Here
about-
we go.
Remind me what I've chosen. It's a jailbreak. It's a jailbreak.
Yes, that is a jailbird. It's by a British maker
Yep.
who has moved to Australia, and Brett Kingman has brought this in for us.
Wow.
The wonderful Brett Kingman.
It's got TV Jones pickups, which
Does
is
have TV
is
Jones,
right for
yes.
Davy Jones, you see.
Yes, right.
So Davy Jones being David Bowie's actual name.
Ooh, good one, sir. I'm going to switch to...
Had to choose Bowie because there already was a Davy Jones in another fantastic band called the Monkees.
The Monkees.
Who in the 60s were killing it.
Oh, I think it was on... was I watching a Bowie interview on maybe Parkinson, and they were talking about his name, and he said it was... He was going to use David Jones, but then Davy Jones was there, and so he couldn't use that. Then he was going to change his name to Tom Jones. And of course, Tom Jones came out with It's Not Unusual literally 2 weeks after he changed it. So, yeah, that's the story.
Oh, no.
Folks, we're going to have a crack at...
Oh, you can tell me the chords?
No. Yes.
Is it as easy as the last one?
Let's have a look. It's pretty easy. There's a start to it, which I can't remember, to be honest. But basically, it's an
we've
A.
got a lot of volume there, Ken. We'll be right?
All right, we'll be right. I'll just knock our mics back just a fraction.
There you
it's
go.
not too bad.
We're not singing today.
Okay, so it's an A. It's an E. A. Then it's A. D. A, sorry, D, back to A, excuse me, D, C, A, same again, D,
Do you know what's funny about that riff is I can hear Diamond Dogs in that.
yeah.
Call me a diamond dog.
Absolutely. I think he freely admits that, things like Heroes. He said, I just want to write, I wanted a Lou Reed type song, and that's what that was. So I just copied him, and away we went. Now, folks, let's have a crack at it. This is White Light, White Heat. We're sort of heading to the end of our show tonight.
We are.
I'm very sad.
That's all right.
Here we go.
It's a great album. The album's only 33 minutes long, so the show should only be 33 minutes long.
That's true. This is Bowie at the Beeb, live at the Beeb, folks.
Oh, what a great collection that is.
Go Mick.
Okay, now I understand completely. Understand completely why Bowie gave the backing track masters to Mick Ronson.
Oh, he did. That's true. Came out in the mid-70s.
Yeah, and his album later on, because that is a searing guitar solo.
He was a great player.
Wow.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And I hadn't listened to that through cans.
Yeah.
So
cool.
I had never heard that. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you listen to that at the Beeb.
Bowie at the Beeb.
Through some cans. That is Mick Ronson on
so
fire.
Cool.
So he was a great collaborator though, Bowie.
Yes, he was.
Now, so my trivia fact.
All right.
Who co-wrote Fame?
Oh, well, I know the answer. Should we give some folks 1 minute to answer?
It's incredible.
Okay.
The same bloke described David Bowie as rock and roll with lipstick on.
Oh.
So, which I kind of think, is a compliment and a critique at the same time, and because he did bring the glamour.
He did bring the
and
glamour.
he really brought the androgyny and the comfort with
the
look. And
there was a poll that came out maybe in the last 10 years, and he was voted the most influential rock star of all time.
And I'm going to back that up. I agree. Absolutely. Wow. And what a career. What a transformer.
Yes.
What an inspiration.
Now, while we wait for someone to answer the Bowie fame question, no one's answered it. The guest guitar player that came on was, in fact, Jeff Beck.
Oh, wow.
Jeff Beck. And if you type into YouTube Bowie Beck, it will come up.
You'll get a bootleg.
Or Jeff Beck, not Beck, because there is... Beck actually does a couple of Bowie songs with an orchestra and stuff like that. So
yeah.
Two Becks.
Maybe, look, I'm so inspired by this. I'm thinking that the Battle of the Bands this year, and which will be in August, I think, we're planning it, the constraint's going to be you have to play a Bowie song. Everyone has to play a Bowie song.
That's cool.
Because this is this good. This is this fantastic.
Perhaps
this should have been done. That's a hard call, choosing your most favourite album of all time, but this is a worthy silver medalist for you.
Well, look, I think it's this is a long series that we're going to do, so it's multiple albums. We can just keep going forever. It's within the top 500 albums of Rolling Stone, so if it's somewhere in there, we'll do it. Now, has anyone answered? Let's have a look.
Who was it? Who called him?
Paul D is on. Mark Teague's got it.
Yeah.
Mr. Whiskey and a Chicken himself, John Lennon.
John Lennon, yeah.
Is correct. Paul D says, good morning. Hello,
everyone
Paul D.
knew everyone, and everyone wanted to know Bowie.
Jimmy Ball's got it. It's John Lennon. Folks, we've got to get out of here, sadly. I know. I think even by next week we might I might have everything 100% for the first time ever.
No, we need some more of that black magic gear,
I
reckon,
magic
from the boys down in Port Melbourne.
You know what I really liked the other day is the photo. What we should do is some studio photos, because the photo you took of a couple of weeks ago where I was on the floor, it just gave you an idea roughly of how much stuff is connected.
How much equipment
just for a show
to make the show. What guitars did we play, Colonel?
Let's go with them. Let's do it.
I really loved the sound
reel
of this TV Jones on that last one.
That's
my
very
Davy
cool.
Jones, TV Jones.
Genuine.
I'll tell you what, it's a little bit lighter than my 1969.
That's awesome.
Real deal. You also had a Les Paul.
Yeah, I've got a 95 Les Paul.
How much is the 95?
It's just over 3. But it's on consignment, and the owner has contacted me, and we're about to drop it to $29.50.
No way.
He said, move it out the door.
Out the door.
And this is a Guthrie Govan.
Yeah, the Guthrie Govan. It shall never be sold except you can buy it right now if you'd like to.
If you buy it right now.
There's very few of those in Australia. You might want to think about it. It's what Alan Leslie described as the only guitar you ever need.
Alan Leslie.
Wow.
Go home, Alan. Get out of that.
I suspect I can hear him outside the door as we speak. So,
yes. All right.
Yeah, magnificent guitars, magnificent album.
Yes.
Thanks for the lesson.
Oh, man. Thanks for the history lesson, Sir Nigel.
We'll see them all next week.
The talking champ of the world. Oh, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Boom. We're out of here, guys.
Ciao.
Oh, if you're in Melbourne, come
by
down.
the store.
We're here.
Yep.
See
come
you,
and play
folks.
this.
We're out of here. 3, 2, 1.